Alrighty. Howdy. How are you? Okay. So this is the introduction to my new videos that I'm going to be posting on YouTube regularly. Now that I know that my microphone on my headset works, I'm going to be showing you images from my actual Instagram, along with some other images, and I'll be reading some stuff from books. I will not try to interpret the messages. You guys can do that for yourself. I'm assuming that the things that I receive are not just for me, but also for whoever is looking for an answer to something or something. I'm not supposed to manipulate any of the messages in any sort of way. Sometimes I do interpret them towards myself, as in, how does that how does that fit what's going on in my life, kind of thing. Like, how would I interpret it if it was a message to me, kind of thing. Sometimes I do that on my Instagram, but I don't manipulate the message for someone else. If they were meant to hear exactly what the words say from the runes, then that's exactly what they're supposed to hear. They can interpret it the way that they want to. I will not be doing that. It's raw and it's straightforward for a reason, because I was told specifically not to manipulate or tamper with the honest truth in the message that I'm supposed to be bringing. So, that being said, this is an introduction to my transition into Ascension and Awakening, and yeah, okay. So, this started a while back. I've had anxiety problems since, I think the first real problem was it started in the beginning of the year, but I didn't get it really bad until April or May was when it peaked. It was really bad. And then I was on medication for a while because I ended up in the hospital. Hold on. Sorry, my kids were fighting. So it started with the anxiety problem. I had panic attacks every day. I was on Ativan and some other medication that they put me on. And so the point of this was that I haven't needed any medication for any of my mental illness for 11 years. I used cognitive therapy, music therapy, art therapy, poetry therapy, like tons of things that I self-learned, like on my own. And I used those for 11 years. I didn't need any kind of like pharmaceutical medication at all. I also did herbal treatment, but I won't go into that. I stopped being able to consume solids, so I couldn't do the herbal um, remedies like I used to, unless they were in powder form, and it was really hard even then, because sometimes I'd have a freak out and panic attack over the powder. I would think I'm inhaling it and a bunch of bad stuff. So it peaked around May, and then that's when I got on medication, and I got dependent on this medication. And I didn't want to be dependent on the medication because, well, that's not who I am. I'm not the type of person to get addicted to something and then stick with it. So I didn't like that idea, so I had to do something about it. So I started trying to figure out what I could do naturally to relieve my anxiety. And trust me, I tried many things in between May and my surgery in October. So it was crazy how many things I've tried and it failed. And I'm pretty sure it was because of the medication I was currently taking. I was stuck in this suspended space of constant anxiety because of the medication. I couldn't let my mind do its thing. It was medicated, so it's stuck. It was in that. Hold on, they turned up the music again. My kids, they just don't know how to stop fighting. Okay, so I've tried many things in between May and my surgeries, and it didn't work. I was in a suspended state of stuck, stagnant, whatever you want to call it. So I got frustrated, obviously. I didn't know what to do. So the day of my surgery was when everything, okay? Everything changed. So my surgery was October 10th, and I'm at the point in my thing where I'm going to be sharing the stuff. So I'm just going to put that there. So my surgery was October 10th. That morning, I was having a bit of a panic attack in the office just before they prepped me. And this nurse that was prepping me, hold on, I have to do this. Sorry, my kids were scared of something that wasn't there. Anyway, the day of my surgery, I was getting prepped by this nurse. I was telling her I have anxiety and blah, blah, blah. And I have like panic attacks. So she had told me that she went to a Buddhist retreat. It's free. You can go anytime. And she went to this thing for 10 days, and they taught her how to turn her anxiety and her panic attack into a physical pain, which manifests inside of like a black ball of like energy. And wherever the pain is, like mine would be in my throat, for instance. So I would picture it in my throat. She said she would breathe in deep into her stomach, hold it, and then when she breathed out, each time she breathed out after breathing in, she would imagine the 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 energy ball being chipped away a little at a time until it was gone. Now I thought this was like profound. I was like, wow, that's like that seems so simple. And she's like, but sometimes the pain will move. It won't just stay in your throat. And I was like, well, if it moves, then I could just move the ball that's being chipped away. And she's like, exactly. So you can chip it away wherever it moves. And I'm like, okay, that sounds great. So surgery went on. I got my gallbladder removed. And this is the other thing that happened. In surgery, I was chemically induced, so I was out. You're not supposed to have dreams as far as I know, but I had a dream, or maybe it wasn't a dream, maybe I was astral projected somewhere. I'm not too sure. My waking self is blurry on the details. Pretty sure I knew exactly what's happening at the moment, but it was blurry. The details are blurry. My waking mind, my conscious mind. All I can remember is that it was like rainbow colors. Mostly I could see pink and red and orange, but there is some blue and purple in my memory. That's what I can remember. And I felt at peace, safe, warm, loved. It was a beautiful experience. And when I came back out of it, like when I woke up, I was in so much pain. But when I woke up, I knew something was different. There was something different. They told me they had to intubate with a tube down my throat, so my throat would hurt. They told me try not to talk because I stopped breathing. So I didn't die, I don't think. They didn't tell me if I did, but I got intubated. Maybe that's when I started having that dream. I don't know. Um, but I knew something was different as soon as I woke up. Something was different. Something was, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I just knew there was something different, right? So I got home and I was on this whole binge of, oh, I'm gonna heal real quick. I'm gonna do this perp. I'm never gonna end up in the hospital. But then I had allergic reactions to ibuprofen, so they put me on Benadryl. Then I had an allergic reaction to Benadryl, so they put me on Reactin. Then I had an allergic reaction to Reactin, and ended up in the hospital because I couldn't stop pooping. So it didn't go as planned. But I did not end up in the hospital for infection or complications after the surgery. Actually, I'm pretty okay in that area. Everything's healed up fine. Got nice, good scars, and it's all clean. So that's really, really awesome. So after that, I wasn't on my Ativan. I couldn't take it while I was taking pain regulators. Um, I couldn't take my regular antidepressants, antipsychotic, uh, anxiety medication. I couldn't take it. So 4 days after the surgery, I could sit up finally in the bed. Like without being in pain and have to roll over on my side. I could literally sit up 4 days after my surgery. So I started thinking about like what can I do because I was worried about the panic attacks coming back after I'm not medicated anymore. So um, I started looking into meditation, which I used to want to do, but I didn't know how to quiet my mind. But I thought being medicated would be a lot easier to quiet my mind because there's like barely any thinking anyway because I'm medicated. So I thought it would be a perfect time to try to do this and quiet my mind. Practice, practice, practice. So for day 4 to day 10 after surgery, I meditated every day and I got it down packed where I could turn my thoughts off long enough that I could meditate. It takes about 10 minutes of just like pure breathing in and out, just focusing on my breathing, but I can do it now. That's how I got to sleep last night. I'll explain that later. I won't go into it because I'm just getting sidetracked. Anyway, so I meditated. Then I started working with my chakras because I felt like if I opened up my throat chakra, that maybe I could eat solids because the doctor told me there's nothing wrong with my throat. I could actually eat solids. It was my anxiety and my brain that kept me from eating solids for 14 months. So I was like, okay, then I can eat solids. I'm going to do this. So I started working with my chakras to open them up so that I wouldn't be afraid. And it worked. It worked. I started eating solids, but not in the sense of I just went back into my old routine and started eating like whatever I wanted. No, I started off soft. I started off with mashed potatoes, potato salad, um, bread and soup, but brown bread, not white bread, whole grain basically. And I've been sticking to the healthiest foods possible. But one thing I found out through this progression was that I couldn't eat meat, dairy, things of that nature. It was hurting me, so I didn't eat any of that. And then I started like by accident I was finding videos looking for other things. Like I was looking for better ways of meditation so that I could maybe I don't know astral project to find out what happened when I had that dream during my surgery. So I was trying to astral project to find out what happened, and I stumbled upon other videos that taught me so much more than what I expected. And I'm pretty sure that this was probably the point where my body and my mind, my consciousness was ready for the next level of whatever was going to happen. So I started opening myself up to that. I was like, okay, well, let's activate my pineal gland then. I stopped using fluoridated toothpaste. I started using the Jason toothpaste that I got off of eBay 3 years ago, which has no fluoride in it at all. It's all natural ingredients, baking soda and some kind of mint something. Sorry, I need to lean back. My shoulders kind of hurting me. So I'm going to be having a lot of aches and pains because I'm trying not to take pain medication. I'm trying to find alternatives for it. So as I was doing this, I started getting like more things happening and I didn't understand what they were, but I accepted them for what they were. I kind of figured that part of the process kind of thing, like my ears ringing. Um, I started being drawn to the clouds. Like I just literally have to sometimes. I just get this, I don't know, it's like a look outside kind of thing, like a little tiny, I understand what it means. It's not a word, it's not a voice, it's just look outside. It's just a feeling, and I look and there's always something for me to see. Always. So it happened the first time. I have to actually see. I have to go back. Hold on. Okay, this is how when it happened. October 26th, it happened the first time. Okay. So I was meditating. I was watching Spirit Science on YouTube. I was learning my patience. I was learning how to be patient by doing art with rocks, things like this. And I was delving back into my spirituality hardcore, just doing it, right? And then October 26th, I was outside and I started seeing things in the clouds. I'm going to turn down my light. Right now. Maybe. So there's like strange formations in the sky, like a bunch of them, right? And just like I noticed that maybe I should be looking up. So I started looking up at the sky, just looking, right? Just to see why are these weird formations happening. And then I saw this, which I thought was really, really weird. I close in on it. Don't worry, I have a bigger image of it for you. But this was really weird. And then I noticed that there was a shadow on the earth. Okay. So I show the image with the shadow, and then 1 minute later, the shadow's gone. But the image with the shadow is kind of creepy because I didn't even know, like, I was going to draw around the edge of where the shadow was to see what kind of shape it made, but it disappeared. So here's that image close up of that thing that I showed you, the weird cloud. You can start to see the formation of what it looks like, kind of like a jellyfish, but not, because there's something in the middle. And then I was just staring at the sky, and a bunch of them started coming out. A bunch. And 60 seconds after that small image, more, like a cluster. And I knew there was like something happening. They're trying to tell me something. To me, it looked like Sumerian, right? It looks kind of Sumerian. So I took a picture of a Sumerian thing. It looks like a Sumerian text, but I don't understand Sumerian. So then they decide, well, since you don't understand Sumerian, let's give you a rune. So they gave me my rune, which was the second rune that day because the first one I got was in the morning, and it was this one. So on my YouTube channel, which you guys can see, my video's up there of the first day when I explain what happened. I still have all the videos from that day as well because I wanted to document it. I did not want to lose any of it. It has to be documented the way it is, purely the way it is. So documented it. And then my runes fell in the middle of me talking about the second rune and what it meant. And then I got the third rune that day. Image side by side. And then I show the raw photo of it where you can distinctively see it. Sorry, husband's home, so he can say hello. Okay, so I'm just going through, then I show all three of them together. That was the first day, the 26th. Then I got another one on Sunday, last Sunday. So It was the 28th. The 28th was the last time I got one. Oops. Back into it. So I was outside watching the clouds again, seeing weird formations, trying to read what was going on, just trying to understand what they were trying to show me. I was sitting outside, just taking a bunch of, here, I'll just show you, taking a bunch of photos. Just a bunch. And I got a wing. And I got a wing. Here, I'm going to try to close it. A beautiful, perfect wing. Video. And then this is like kind of distorted. I don't know why. The way the picture was taken, you can literally just, it looks like there's something in front of it reflecting it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was on the video as well. But I took several pictures of the same thing because I wanted to know what was going on. And this was that day. And then in this photo, sorry guys, it's really hard to get my phone to actually cooperate with me most of the time. So then that day, I went through all that. I saw a room that day, but I don't remember which one it was. It's in my videos on my YouTube. But then, when I took Logan to school, I got a different room in the sky, and I had taken a picture of it. It was an F, and it meant signals and messages to look for. I also had 2 crows follow me. They just followed me. So when I got home, I started taking pictures of the sky, and I accidentally found that there was a fire on a barge in Surrey. Bad one. And then Wednesday, nothing happened that was significant. Yesterday, I got a room. In the middle of the rainy sky, the clouds started forming things, and I got a rune yesterday. So I wanted just to read you every single rune that came to me. I'll do them in order of how they show up in the book. The first one is on page 96, which is the one that I got when I dropped Logan off at school on Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. 96. So this one's called Signals Messenger Rune. Okay, so this one's called Signals Messenger Room. The keynote here is receiving messages, signals, gifts, even a timely warning may be seen as a gift. The message may be that of a new life unfolding, new lives begin with new connections. Hold on. What? Sorry, I was completely paused that whole time. Frick. Okay. Unfolding. New lives begin with new connections, surprising linkages that direct you onto new pathways. Take care now to be especially aware during meetings, visits, chance encounters, particularly with persons wiser than yourself. When the messenger rune brings a sacred knowledge, you are truly blessed. Loki is the ancient trickster from the pantheon of the Norse gods. He is I don't know what that word is, of the Native Americans, a mocking shadow of the creator god, as well as a bringer of benefits to humankind. He is a reminder that even scoundrels and arch thieves can be the bearers of wisdom. When you draw this rune, expect the unexpected. The message is always a call to the new life. This rune is the first of the 13 runes that make up the cycle of initiation rune. Okay, remember that. That focus directly upon the mechanism of self-change and as such addresses our need to integrate unconscious motive with conscious intent. Drawing this rune tells you that connection with the divine is at hand. It is a signal to explore the depths, the foundations of life, and to experience the inexhaustible wellspring of the divine in your nature. At the same time, you are reminded that you must first draw from, hold on, the exhaustible wellspring of the divine in your nature. At the same time, you are reminded that you must first draw from the well to nourish and to give to yourself. Then there will be more than enough to nourish others. A new sense of family solidarity invests in this room. Okay, so that's the first one. Like I said, I'm reading them in order that they show up here rather than in the order that I received them. So then the next one I got was the double X 107. Okay. This rune is akin to the moon, the intuitive part of our nature, with its urge toward harmonizing and adjusting in the sphere of personal relationships. This rune embodies the need to share, the yearning to be desired, a search after similarities. The completion of beginnings is what this rune requires. Drawing this rune may mark a time of joyful deliverance, of new life, a new path, a rune of great power. Receiving it means that you now have the strength to achieve completion, resolution, from which comes a new beginning. Above all, completion is crucial here. It may be timely that you complete some project now, so if so, make that your first priority. Perhaps a difficult state of mind can be clarified or resolved. The appearance of this rune indicates that you must fertilize the ground for your own deliverance. All things change, and we cannot live permanently amid obstructions. This rune signals your emergence from a closed chrysalis state. As you resolve and clear away the old, you will experience a release from tension and uncertainty. You may be required to free yourself from a rut, habit, or relationship, from some deep cultural or behavioral pattern, some activity that was quite proper to the self you are leaving behind. The time of birth is always a crucial one. Movement can involve danger, and yet movement that is timely leads out of danger. The time has come to enter the delivery room. Another of the cycle runes counsels preparation, being centered and grounded, freeing yourself from all unwanted influences, and seeing the humor. You are indeed prepared to open to the will of heaven and await your deliverance with calm certainty. So see how every single rune that I ever seen in the sky has come to me as one of the cycle runes of initiation. Okay, that is unheard of. So we'll move to the next one that I got, uh, which is named Initiation 103. Okay. A heretic or mystery rune pointing to that which is beyond our frail manipulative powers. Perth is on the side of heaven and unknowable, and has associations with the phoenix, that mystical bird with which consumes itself in the fire, then rises from its own ashes. Its ways are secret and hidden. Powerful forces of change are at work here, yet what is achieved is not easily or readily shared. After all, becoming whole, the means of it, is a profound secret. On the side of the earthly or mundane, there may well be surprises, gains, or rewards that you did not anticipate. On the side of human nature, this rune is symbolized by the flight of the eagle, soaring flight free from entanglement, lifting yourself above the endless ebb and flow of ordinary life to acquire broader vision. All this is indicated here. Another of the cycle runes, Perth, stands at the heart of initiation. Nothing external matters here except as it shows you in its inner reflection. This rune is concerned with the deepest stratum of your being, the bedrock on which your destiny is founded. For some, Perth means experiencing a death in need be, let go of everything, no exceptions, no exclusions, nothing less than renewal of your spirit is at stake when you draw this rune. Then the next one, 120, which was the first rune I received. This is the rune of the spirit warrior. Always the battle of the spirit warrior is with the self. Funding a will through action, yet unattached to outcomes. Remaining mindful that all you can really do is stay out of your own way and let the will of heaven flow through you. These are among the hallmarks of the spiritual warrior. Embodied in this rune is the energy of discrimination, the sword-like quality that enables you to cut away the old, the dead, the extraneous, and yet with the warrior rune comes certain knowledge that the universe always has the first move. Patience is the virtue of this rune, and it recalls the words of St. Augustine that the reward of patience is patience. Here you are asked to look within, to delve down to the foundations of life itself. Only in so doing can you hope to meet the deepest needs of your nature and tap into your most profound resources. The molding of character is at issue when you draw this rune. Associated with this rune are the sun, masculine energy, the active principle. The urge for conquest is powerful here, especially self-conquest, which is a lifelong pursuit and calls for awareness, single-mindedness, and the willingness to undergo your passage with compassion and in total trust. When this rune comes in response to a relationship issue, it indicates that the relationship is both timely and preventatial. I don't know what that word is. The bond is a real one. There is work for you to do together. If this issue concerns devotion to a cause, an idea, or a path of conduct, the warrior rune counsels perseverance, although at times the kind of perseverance called for is patience. a rune of courage and dedication in ancient times. This rune was the glyph that warriors painted on their shields before battle. Now the same symbol strengthens our resolve to align the self with the self. The next one after that I received was, oh, I skipped right over that one. Dang, that was the first one. 98. I'll have to backtrack to 98, sorry. This was the second one I got. Okay. This is a time of separating paths. Old skins must be shed, outmoded relationships discarded. When you receive this rune, a peeling away is called for. Part of the cycle of initiation, this rune is a rune of radical severance. The appropriate action here is submission and quite possibly retreat. Knowing how and when to retreat and possessing the firmness of will to carry it out. Real property is associated with this rune, for it is the rune of acquisition and benefits. However, the benefits you receive, the inheritance, may be derived from something you must give up. This can be particularly demanding when what you are called upon to abandon is some aspect of your behavior or part of your cultural inheritance, for then you must look closely at what, until now, you have proudly claimed as your birthright, whether it is your attachment to your position in society, to the work you do, or even to your beliefs about your own nature. The separation called for will free you to become more truly who you are. So I forgot to even read that one. I'm so sorry, guys. And then I got the signals one, which was the first one I read. And then I got fertility, initiation, warrior. And then I got harvest, 117. A rune of beneficial outcomes. Jera applies to many activity or endeavor to which you are committed. Be aware, however, that no quick results can be expected. A span of time is usually involved, hence the key words 1 year, symbolizing a full cycle before the reaping, the harvest, or deliverance. You have prepared the ground and planted the seed. Now you must cultivate with care. To those whose labor has a long season, a long coming to term, Jera offers encouragement of success. Know that the outcome is in the keeping of providence and continue to persevere. Remember the old story about the farmer who was so eager to assist his crops that he went at night and tugged on the new shoots. There is no way to push the river. Equally, you cannot hasten the harvest. Be mindful that patience is essential for the recognition of your own process, which in its season leads to the harvest of itself. Then after that, I got the H, 129. 129. Ignore the background, guys. My kids like to fight. And I'm pretty sure my husband's going to deal with it. Change, freedom, invention, and liberation are all attributes of this rune. Drawing it indicates a pressing need into the psyche to break free from constricting identification with material reality and to experience the world of archetypal mind. The rune of elemental disruption of events that seem to be totally beyond your control. This rune has only an upright position, and yet it always operates through reversal when you draw this rune, except disruption, for it is the great awakener, although the form the awakening takes may vary. Perhaps you will experience a gradual feeling of coming to your senses, as though you are emerging from a deep sleep. Then again, the onset of power may be such as to rip away the fabric of what you previously knew as your reality. This personally means something to me. That's why I'm smiling and smirking, because it's all coming into great big picture now. Your security, your understanding of yourself, your work, your relationships, or beliefs. Disruption takes many forms. A relationship fails, plans go awry, a source of supply dries up, but do not be dismayed whether you created the disruption or whether it comes from an outside source. You are not without power in this situation. Your inner strength, the will you have funded until now in your life, provides support and guidance at a time when everything you've taken for granted is being challenged. Another of the cycle runes, the term radical discontinuity best describes the action of this rune. At its most forceful, the more severe the disruption in your life, the more significant and timely the requirements for your growth. The universe and your own soul are demanding that you do indeed grow. Interesting. All right. So then after that is N, 125. This rune is a rune of transit, transition, and movement, of physical shifts, new dwelling places, new attitudes, or new life. It also signifies movement in a sense of improving or bettering any situation. There is about this rune a sense of gradual development and steady progress, with the accompanying notion of slow growth through numerous shifts and changes. This could apply to the growth of a business or to the development of an idea. A relationship may need to undergo changes if it is to live and grow. Moral effort and steadfastness are called for when you draw movement. Another of the cycle runes. Let it be said that this way, as I cultivate my own nature, all else follows. This rune symbol is the horse, and it signifies the bond between horse and rider. Bronze Age artifacts show a horse drawing the sun across the sky. Here, this rune is saying you have progressed far enough to feel a measure of safety in your position. Now it is time to turn again and face the future, reassured, prepared to share the good fortune that comes your way. The sharing is significant since it relates to the sun's power to foster life and illuminate all things with its light. And then B, 123, I saw today. Another of the cycle runes. This rune represents a form of fertility that fosters growth both symbolically and actually. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, family matters, the relationship of the self to the self, or to the divine. A rune that leads to blossoming and ripening. This rune is concerned with the flow of beings into their new forms. Its action is gentle, penetrating the pervasive. What is called for here is to consider your issue with care and awareness. First, disperse resistance, then accomplish the work. For this to happen, your will must be clear and controlled, your motives correct. Any dark corners should be cleansed. This must be carried out diligently and sometimes with expert help. Modesty, patience, fairness, and generosity are called for here. Once resistance is dispersed, the rectification carried out and seen to hold firm, then through steadfastness and right attitude the blossoming can occur. Okay, and then The other one I received was this one, 139. 139. 139. This rune stands for wholeness, that which our nature requires. It embodies the impulse towards self-realization and indicates the path you must follow, not from ulterior motives, but from the core of your individuality. Seeking after wholeness is the spiritual warrior's quest, and yet what you are striving to become in actuality is what by nature you already are. Become conscious of your essence and bring it into form. Express it in a creative way, a rune of great power, making life force available to you. This rune marks a time for regeneration. Sorry. This rune marks the time for regeneration down to the cellular level. Although this rune has no reverse position, there is reason for caution. You may see fit to withdraw or even to retreat in the face of a pressing situation, especially if events or people are demanding that you expend your energy now. Know that such a retreat is a retreat in strength, a voyage inward for the centering or balance. Timely retreat is among the skills of the spiritual warrior. This rune counsels opening yourself up, letting the light into a part of your life that has been secret, shut away. To accomplish this may call for a profound recognition, for admitting to yourself something that you have long denied. There is a prayer known as the, I don't know what that word is, that embodies the spirit of this rune of wholeness. Address the sun in this fashion. You who are the source of all power, whose rays illuminate the world, illuminate also my heart, so that it too can do your work. While reciting this prayer, visualize the sun's rays streaming forth into the world, entering your heart, then streaming out from your heart center and back into the world. This is a powerful and life-enhancing prayer. There is a caution here not to give yourself airs. Even in a time of bountiful energy, you are required to face and vanquish your refusal to let right action flow through you. Nourish this capacity, for it is a mark of true humility. Practice the art of doing without doing. Aim yourself truly and then maintain your aim without manipulative effort. Meditate on Christ's words, I can of my own self do nothing. John 5:30. For by your own power we do nothing. Even in loving, it is love that loves through us. This way of thinking and being integrates new energies and permits us to flow into wholeness, which is the ultimate goal of the spiritual warrior. And that is the end of the runes that I have received. But they all have some kind of meaning towards me, and I needed to see them at the right time. They didn't just come all at once. They came over the course of the last um, few weeks since the 26th. Like I said, October 26th was when it kind of kicked off, and everything just started exploding, and I started opening myself up to these new energies, and I started getting these messages. And I've been actively trying to build my patience, actively trying to just be open, like open to anything. Messages from above, um, signals and messages in things, and of that nature. And so this is my first episode of my, what was that? Baby! So this is the first episode of my new YouTube, new old YouTube. You know what I mean. This is going to be my first episode of what I'm going to be doing from now on, which is helping others achieve what I am currently achieving real time. I haven't exactly found the formula, the magic the magic mojo or whatever you want to call it, but I am finding myself. I am transitioning cellularly, molecularly, transitioning into ascension, awakening. Um, I felt it more now than I did a week ago. Things are speeding up. And that's one of the biggest symptoms of ascension is you feeling time speeding up and things are just going really fast. So I will go over symptoms into my next episode, symptoms of ascension, and many other things. Very nice, but I'm kind of doing something, baby. Yeah, can you ask Daddy? Because I can't right now. Okay, Bubba? I love you. I love you, Bubba. I love you. Okay, so the next episode, I'll go over symptoms and everyday things that kind of stop and kind of make us stagnant and many other things I'll go over in that episode. But to end this, I wanted to show you the images from today. Oh, Lord. Stop. No. Go away. Okay, now. Okay, so I wanted to show you the images of today. So these were the cloud formations that I got today. Video, sorry. I'll move past that. Okay, so this right here is 9-week gestational period of a baby. And if you don't believe me, I put Logan's 9-week scan right below it to show you 9-week gestation. And if you don't believe me, this is his. This is my name right there. At the top, facing over. It's his. Many, many years ago. But anyway, I don't know what it means. I'm just showing you raw, everything raw. Okay? The second thing I saw was this. To me, it looked like a brain. Right? Looks like a brain. It is a brain. And where it's highlighting, the light areas, touch and pressure, taste, body awareness, language, reading and vision, coordination. Those are all the parts that are lit up in the cloud. So that was significant. I know that was a message, a significant message for me to see. So I don't know what it means. Like I said, I'll probably learn what it means. I'll go over possibilities in my next episode. And don't take anything I say in my next episode as fact, because I'm just going over possibilities that make sense but possibly aren't related, but it could mean what I'm going to be discussing in my next episode with the symptoms, transitions, all that. I'll go over in the next episode. I hope you guys will actually tune into that next episode. I'll probably be doing it either tomorrow or the next day. I'm not too sure just yet. I'll try to get that out as soon as possible. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Friday. Welcome to November. And wish you all love and light. And
the Chinese kid Brandon that I used to work with at Duke with Nick. The little other Chinese kid, the funny one.
Sure.
Says, what's up?
Okay.
Brandon Lee, remember? Same name as Bruce Lee's son?
Uh-huh.
Brandon Lee? No?
Uh-huh.
Don't remember?
No. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you back here on my next episode. And I love you all. Love and light, everybody. Namaste. Mwah.